Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of MRL Fastlane. Here to look at the Cup Series that was at Charlotte. So I'm going to kind of shake up the formula a little bit because I feel like looking back on previous Fastlane episodes, majority of the time has been literally like a full recount of like the race and not so much the look at the things after, like stats and all that, and the things looking forward. I think I'm going to change that up a little bit. So we're going to briefly gloss over the race and then look into the after effects. And, of course, then to kind of go into like predictions and all that. So I think it's going to be fun, but we will see and see how you guys like it. So we were at Charlotte, first and foremost. So let's start just with the qualifying order. Charlotte is always a fun track, mile and a half, very fast paced. You definitely in this race, you saw a lot of strategy go on. You had certain fuel numbers that you had to hit, as well as a split of two different strategies. There's one that it was a 100-lap race because of. Honestly, I kind of took the executive decision on that in order to really, I had to wake up super early for my job the next day. And because of that, I dropped it from what was going to be a 200-lap race to a 100-lap race. So all three races this past week was done on 100 laps. So looking at this here, Xander was on pole. You had one of those drivers that was on the long run strategy, pit basically when the tires and fuel light gave out, whatever came first. And then you have those that pit every 25 laps because your fuel number can hit that. You can also go to like lap 28 or even 29 if you're pushing it. So then from there, you had those like Lil Chris down here who made his Cup debut. He's not on this list because of this being his first race in the Cup Series, but he is in this race. Hunty was also a part of it. But yeah, Xander on pole. Liam, who was our in-race reporter, was P2. Xander did not actually race. So because of that, Liam got pole, BDP 2, MH P3, UK P4, Hunty P5, T-Bird P6. Actually, wait, hang on. I have that down here. T-Bird did T-Bird P6, BS P7. Worst guy got last place points. Then you move on down the line to then we go into the new guys. So like Little Chris, Heron made his Cup debut, and then we have two new ones, Steele, as well as BS Arton. So all these guys, welcome to the league. Glad you could come out with us, and as well as show some support at Charlotte. So because of that, everyone's kind of glossing in. I do want to point out a couple things. We did not have a single caution, but you can see, ooh, yikes, no one wants to line up behind BS because of him already lagging. This is the pace lap, so that is exactly why. But just to show you, no cautions. You definitely want to get into the bottom lane. So all these guys starting on top, and I can understand why that. Look at that. Ooh, mamma mia. To kind of just show, this is essentially the best opportunity to really get some good spots right here because everyone immediately starts fanning out. And you can actually see the cutoff to the top 7. The top 7 are going to start breaking away, and yikes. Yeah, that is bad. But yeah, we're going to kind of move forward. Yeah, like I said, this top 7 really starts forming a pack of their own, and really the front runners are going to be forming their own pace just from that. So it's really about hitting your fuel number. Then you have strategy. That was a huge factor. Like I said, make sure you get on pit road because without any cautions, there was no cautions this entire race. They were on, yes, so it could have came out, but no one was able to come on down and just gain an advantage through a lucky yellow. There was those that tried, which is like Lil Chris and Hunty. These two were the ones that tried to do the that try to do the pit every 25 laps. You know, that's generally how that, I mean, strategically makes sense. You know, to split the race into 3 equal sections. It was sound. But as you can see, as pit stops start to happen, you can actually see that the when everyone comes on out, the pack is really spread on out. So that is a big thing. See, like, so you have 18 of UK, the 22 and the 11 gaining a lot of ground right there. That was a good entry. But then I'm just showing you coming on out. These two were the ones that pit sooner, and these guys were the ones that pit later. The field really starts spreading on out, and because of that, you have difference in strategies. You know, really just making sure that you are hitting your own marks in order to get it all the way through here. But eventually, you have the top 2 breakaway. This is coming towards the second stop of the race. And really, it just comes down to just not making mistakes. I mean, any little mistake here, and you are going to be down and out of the strategy. You have the benefit of fresh tires versus old tires at this point, and because of that, I do believe it was T-Bird behind him right now. Yes, T-Bird and BD were able to draft on up, and Hunty decides to, you know what, call it quits, because when they caught up, it's time to come on down. However, because of that, I'm just going to show you, again, this is why I say don't pit from the middle lane. Yep. But because of that, he was able to lock it down and be able to still get into the pits right there. It did cost him a lot of time. However, he will be back. But because of that, you have UK making his pit stop. You're going to see there is Hunty right here. I think the 18 sped. I think UK sped during that time. But that kind of shifts the lead battle because the 51 of T-Bird waited a couple extra laps trying to save some fuel. And that's him, this little dot back here. So imagine, he was right here, but because of that contact, it put him right behind the 22. But then he waited a few laps, and now he's back here. And that just shows you the little things like that that kind of create potential rifts throughout the rest of the race. So to kind of go on through, the 22 has caught I guess I found out the reason why his number is 87 here, despite it being 07, is because apparently the game doesn't allow you to choose the 07 in a custom number. I had no idea about that, so that's why. But because of that, you have the battle for the lead forming on up, and this is the battle for currently P3 and P4. Steele is currently a lap down. He actually had a drive-through penalty because of the blend line, so he gets out of the way right there, allows baseball to get it going by. It didn't show it from our screen, but it looked like from maybe their screens they may have hit made contact. But because of that, the battle for the lead is on, and unfortunately, Lil Chris encounters some issues later on throughout this race. Not quite yet. Hang on. Let me try to find exactly where it was. But he is essentially out of the race because of... Oh, I think... Yeah. This is when BD already took the lead. So Lil Chris was encountering some issues, so he had to back on out. So the 22 is now the leader. Move on forward yet again. We have the final stop. Now, at this point in the race, this is about... I want to say it was about, like, what, 15 to go, 13 to go, something like that? Just above 10 to go. And people are deciding, you know what, do I take 2? Do I take 4? You're going to see a difference in strategy here. The 51 is going to, when he pits now, he's going to take 4 to try to close on down. The 22 pivotally is going to take 2, and you're going to see him right here. We're going to be on board. The difference between him and the of Baseball Kid in the 11 right there. And the 22 is down and away. He took 2. And the 11 right there, as we kind of go on through, also takes 2. So, because of that, you have the difference in strategy here. And as we kind of close on in, Hunty, who just really has been going balls to the wall. That's him right there. Took 4 and was still maintaining his strategy of pitting every 25 laps. Came super close to actually getting it done, but the 22 will have another victory to add to his stat sheet, coming around turn 4 and getting it done. Excellent job from him. The podium then goes to Hunty in P2 with an excellent recovery drive, and then UK in P3. Excellent job, as they decide to wreck. They're going into the final, out of the final turn. So yeah, looking at the results screen, Hunty, recovery drive of the year right here. UK P3, another one to add to his record. And at the time of this race, UK scored his 19th podium. Just saying, 19th podium. So because of that, you have Hunty going up there in P2. T-Bird sniping Baseball Kid of 4th place on the last lap, and then Liam holding his own back here in P6. Then you have the new guys, I guess not new for Heron, but Steele and BS Arton here, 7th and 9th, respectable, very respectable, and Worst Cod getting a top 10. Excellent job from there. And the final 3 positions go to Little Chris, who, like I said, encountered some issues, as well as MH and BS, who both lagged out. It's unfortunate from there, but, you know, it does happen. Because of that, the stats of Xander not being able to make it all the way, really changed on up the points table. 40 points out is what Xander is, losing 3 positions. BD, who was the points leader 2 races ago, is now back in P2, 19 points out. Hunty, 26 points out, but UK is out on top. So, we see a bunch of big movers here in this table. T-Bird especially moving on up, and technically he's in the battle for the points lead as well, so excellent job. And then if we look at the stats, in UK actually was our featured driver of the week, 3.5 average. Out of all of those, apart from Xander, who we already covered, has the best average finish, and that's why he is the #1 spot in a Winston Cup format that values season-long points over everything. That is hands down the best way to win a championship. So yeah, because of that, it was a very straightforward race if you think about it. With no cautions, there was no like major fuel strats or anything like that. However, so one thing I want to focus on now is just looking at where we are in the Cup Series. Of course, we have the team standings, and you know, VPR is down and away the best right now in terms of points. However, you have Mopawa that is going to that is really closing on it on GMI. Of course, GMI with Bass not showing up, and Liam and Xander. Well, Xander having last place points, and Liam being really the only representative for GMI here. It's a big thing for GMI to start bolstering those numbers. But one thing I want to point out here is looking at the overall like state of moving forward. These guys are awesome. I love these guys to death. So we're going to Watkins Glen next week. Watkins Glen is a track that suits hands down Hunty and Xander, without a doubt. However, it is already not publicly, of course, you guys watching this don't know, but I have been told specifically that Xander will not be there on Saturday. So he's going to put in a time, and essentially this is going to take him out of the title fight. But, so, Hunty, who is one of the best road course racers I have seen in quite some time, Hunty is going to be a real contender next race. However, I can't rule out, like, all these guys. If we look at the stats, many of these guys are all over the place. You can tell that some of them have had consistency, Xander probably being the most consistent, but like BD here, a P4, yeah, awesome, top 5, top 5, top 5. But then Bristol's P12. it's a bit all over the place. Hunty, very consistent, either 4, 5, or 6. But then you have some off-the-wall finishers, which is like Baseball Kid, 18th, 12th, and then P5. UK even, first. Podium, top 5, and then P7. It's interesting, to say the least, honestly. You have the state of the Cup Series is awesome because everyone's so evenly matched, and that's what I think this fun season is all about. It's to kind of give everyone, be like, okay, so this is where we are going into the next game. The next game, of course, is going to feature the all-around new physics, new tracks, new everything. But these guys here, the ones I'm going to highlight, are all going to be racing in the Cup Series next season. All of these guys currently are the ones to really watch, and I think, honestly, the more practice you get, of course, some have abstained from racing, and of course, that's their prerogative. It's just for fun anyway. But these guys right here, just 13 out of the 20, 14 out of the 20. You have 15 out of the 20. I'm sorry, I keep looking at this as every time. 15 out of the 20. There are 5 that are not going to be racing in the top series next season. That means we have some good contenders in Sundays, like Hunty, Joe, Keith, MH, all of these guys in that race for points and lights. I'm looking to see what they can do. And actually, the best way to go about this is probably, I mean, they have like a combined series, and that actually brings me to where I want to talk about. We have a brand new series coming to MRL. We're going to kind of skip on up here. Spoilers right there. Bam. So it's called the Challenger Cup Series, and because of that, it is a classic. It is a classic series of like stages, playoffs. All of these guys are able to go in and actually show what they can do, that are not combined, or like as in like that are not separated by lights or cup. Of course, every every lights drivers can have up to 5 cup starts on Saturday, but after that runs out, I feel like this series is going to be the best way to possibly do that. And because of that, that's why I think we have so many good drivers, that all these guys are fantastic. I love them all, and I think because of that, Tuesdays are going to be a real good show for who can actually show exactly what they can do. I mean, the new game is going to be a huge turn in, I guess, a clean slate. So with that, this has been the Fastlane episode on the Cup Series. The Cup Series was a good race, a very good race. Caution free, like I said, 100 laps of just green flag to checkers. And because of that, I think as we look to Watkins Glen, I'm envisioning very few cautions, as well as the strategy has to be, well, 1, don't slip up the bus stop. You will get a penalty for the bus stop if you cut it. So just making sure you just keep the mistakes to a minimum, as well as just hitting your numbers. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 laps. Just keep plugging away at it. Road courses are designed to be a very consistency based, and because of that, if you can do that, you'll do really well. But yeah, because of that, Watkins Glen is going to be a great race, and that'll be this coming Saturday. I'll get the track facts up here in one day, so that'll be released tomorrow. So thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Private Patton with the Fastlane on Cup, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.